But something that I don't think was covered very much during the Olympics, but I saw it everywhere, and I want to get your guys' thoughts on this, because it can be argued that Jimmy Fallon has ruined The Tonight Show's legacy. And a whole lot of people were angry at how much Jimmy Fallon was being thrown down their throats during the Olympics because Peacock was presenting, and they've got a vested interest in getting third place back into first or second place. I do not find Jimmy Fallon in any way objectionable. I find him benign. I find him, talented enough. He can't quite keep up with what some of the other folks have done during the history of late night.
And this is more of a young viewership thing, but his sort of jovial, this kind of fake laugh feels like a laugh track in a way that some of these other hosts don't have one. And I think that kind of bothers the TV viewer who doesn't really like shows with laugh tracks anymore. It just feels jovial in that way, but he's still one of the 5 people in America who can do that job at that level. I sometimes think we're maybe a little too harsh on the content part. There's obviously been other sides of Jimmy Fallon and the behind-the-scenes stuff that have evolved, but in terms of being able to do the job, he's still doing it at a very high level.
But he's not one of 5 people who can do it. There are plenty of people who can do it.
But he is doing it, is more the point.
You guys are talking about, the political climate is changing, what we demand of our hosts to be more polarizing, whatever. But I'm like, is Conan O'Brien like that? Is Jimmy Kimmel like that? Was Corden like that? I don't feel like any of those guys.
No, Kimmel does, though. Kimmel does it now.
He dips his toes, but I don't feel like he's. I think he's he's the same. What you're talking about, cuddly and makes Middle America feel warm and fuzzy. I think Kimmel does that.
Part of why Corden struggled, though, toward the end, is because he was not doing some of those things. People felt the same way about Corden as they do about Fallon, and Kimmel has at least gone that direction, going after Trump and things like that.
I do think the politics have coarsened so much that the Tonight Show I'm talking about of Johnny Carson, you might make a politics joke, but it's the most harmless of presidential jokes that doesn't even mean anything. It's just a silly thing. Can't we laugh about this? It's a different time in America. Now, Jimmy Kimmel does get involved aggressively. Colbert obviously does a lot of that. The thing that I wanted to ask you guys, though, because Norm Macdonald brought this up one time. Norm Macdonald, I've told you before, I really admire what it is that he did. And one of the things that he said about Bill Maher and others, Chappelle, do you want to be a funny guy or do you want to be a smart guy? Which is it that you're trying to be? Norm Macdonald wanted them separated, and Joe Rogan's not doing comedy most successfully at the highest levels, even though he does do some stand-up. That's not what he is successful for. He took a different path that has a different lane. Bill Maher, John Oliver, Jon Stewart, they can all do stand-up comedy. But Norm Macdonald is asking you, which one is it that you want to be? That job, The Tonight Show, I think requires both, Amin. And while I would say...
It does now. It does now.
And I think that Jimmy Fallon is fun to watch, but it's cotton candy.
Can we also point out that he's probably the least funny? If it is just being funny and not necessarily smart.
He's not funny.
Subjective, yes, but I don't think he's as funny as the guys were putting him up against. Like what you said about Jay Leno is true. People were frustrated because they knew, Jay, you're a funny dude. Why are you dumbing yourself down like this? I don't think Jimmy Fallon's dumbing himself down. I think this is just who he is. This is who he's always been. Since he was on SNL. Again, subjective, like Juju said, I just don't think he's that funny of a guy. Now, they've had some fun kind of conceits that they've done on that show. Like when they, do the karaoke. Or
I wear my tight pants. He does videos like that. Yeah.
But it's just I think part of it is I don't think he's talented enough to raise the stakes even on the comedy side if in order to avoid the political side. Like,
Have you never seen Fever Pitch, the movie with Drew Barrymore? Come on, brother.
I love that movie.
I haven't. Should I watch it?
no.
Oh, it's so good.
But just in terms of talent, I mean, he can do impressions, he can sing. Like Jimmy Fallon is undoubtedly talented.
That's all
why
he
he was
does,
hired.
though. Right.
I mean, that's the point.
It's
All
all
he does
skits
is
and bits.
impressions and sings, and like that's
Well,
pretty impressive.
He sings well for, I guess, a comedian. He's not Jamie Foxx, right? Jamie Foxx sings
Agreed.
and is a comedian.
Agreed.
It's funnier
He's no
and sings.
Taylor. I mean, come on.
Yes, exactly. He's no Taylor. But like the impressions, how many?
That's a good Seinfeld. Sasha,
do
what
you
are
guys-
you talking about?
Do you guys watch late night? Like, they've become less and less
Clips.
of a thing as cable has become less and less of a thing, and now everyone streams the content that they like. And I think it probably coincides with him being hired. Not him specifically, but it happened around the same time. And also, he's got a bad reputation from everything I've read
Well,
about him.
the bad reputation stuff is recent as far as it's coming out, being public. So I don't want to go there because I think his demise has been happening for a while. But again, I go back to people are consuming by clips, right?
Most people probably are like, yeah, he's fine.
Right. Yeah.
That's all he has to be.
That's how I
Right.
think of him. He's cool.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you one thing. He was celebrating for that gold medal game. People were like, "Yo, did you play? Get
Right.
get off my screen!"
Stop
said nothing.
hating.
No, I'm a
Carmelo
hate-
was
I'm
doing
a-
the
He didn't
same
say
thing.
anything. I mean,
Carmelo and his
Carmelo-
son, Steph Marbury.
You know
Summer.
why? You know why they get to do that?
Why?
Because they are involved. They know these people. This dude coming in here, he just ran out there like, "Oh, I'm cool too." No, you not, man. We know these people. You don't know them,
He knows them. They done been all on his show, and he done interviewed one by one and had dinner
Man.
with the fam.
man. We done interviewed who here? Do you think they know us?
Yes.
He was taking selfies with Emmanuel Macron. I mean, how many American celebrities are doing that?